हेलो एवरीवन, वेलकम टू माय चैनल इकोटैप। अगर आप इस चैनल पर आज पहली बार आए हैं तो नीचे दिए गए सब्सक्राइब के बटन को जरूर दबाएं। मेरे चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करें। Here you will be getting educational and informative videos। अगर आप इस लेसन में पहली बार आए हैं तो इसके पहले के 4 लेसन्स जरूर देखें। Before starting with this lesson, you must learn the earlier 4 concepts. We are dealing with the theory of supply and demand. Today is lesson 5, which deals with elasticity of supply. Before that, you must read all the 4 lessons. The basic of economics will be covered in them. If you like the video, then don't forget to like, share and subscribe. So let's begin. When we introduce supply in lesson 2, we notice that producers of a good offers to sell more when the price of good rises. This is a qualitative statement of law of supply. To move to a quantitative aspect, we need elasticity of supply. So what is price elasticity of supply? It is a measure of the responsiveness in quantity demanded, quantity supplied of a good due to 1% change in price of that good. In other words, the percentage change in quantity supplied divided by the percentage change in price. Price elasticity of supply is a measure of how quantity supplied respond to change in price of that good. अगर किसी गुड का प्राइस चेंज हो रहा है तो किस हद तक उसकी सप्लाई चेंज होगी, उसे मेजर करने के जो टर्म यूज होती है उसे कहते हैं प्राइस इलास्टिसिटी ऑफ सप्लाई। Now, for example, if the price elasticity of a supply of a good is 2, it would indicate that the quantity supplied changes proportionately twice as much as the price. Now you tell me, if the price elasticity of supply is 3, what would that indicate? Determinants of elasticity of supply. Supply of a good is said to be elastic if quantity supplied of a good or the percentage change in quantity supplied of a good is greater than the percentage change in price. That is, the quantity supplied responds substantially to the change in price. Supply of a good is said to be elastic when quantity supplied or the percentage change in quantity supplied is less than the percentage change in price. Here, the quantity supplied responds only slightly to the change in price. Moving on with the determinants of supply, we have flexibility of sellers and time horizon. Let's discuss. Flexibility of sellers means the possibility that producers will shift from one line of production to the other. For example, manufactured goods such as books, car, televisions have elastic supply. Their supply is continuous in nature. अगर इन गुड्स की प्राइस चेंज होती है तो प्रोड्यूसर्स इनकी प्रोडक्शन को शिफ्ट कर सकते हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, इफ प्रोड्यूसर्स फाइंड दैट द price of these goods are increasing, so they will supply more of this good. On the other hand, agricultural production are seasonal in nature. Their supply is inelastic. उनकी प्रोडक्शन जब प्रोड्यूसर्स चाहें तभी नहीं हो सकती. एग्रीकल्चर प्रोडक्शन के लिए उसके इनपुट की, वेदर कंडीशंस की और भी बहुत सारी रिक्वायरमेंट्स होती है, इसीलिए प्राइस के अकॉर्डिंग उसकी सप्लाई चेंज नहीं हो सकती। नेक्स्ट इज टाइम हॉरिजन, द टाइम पीरियड बीइंग कंसिडर्ड। इन द शॉर्ट रन supply is inelastic, in the long run supply is elastic. Consider supply of crude petroleum. In the short run, if it may not be possible to increase the production of a crude petroleum firm with sudden increase in its price, but in the long run, with the use of new technologies, new machines, firm can hire more employees, their production can be increased. इसीलिए शॉर्ट रन और लॉन्ग रन का भी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट रोल है। Now look at the varieties of supply curve. First is perfectly inelastic supply. Here the supply curve is vertical. Let me show you. Here the supply curve is vertical. I would like to mention that these graphs are just for example. They are not based on any data. So don't get confused with these numbers. Okay. Here elasticity equals 0. Next we have inelastic supply. Here elasticity is less than 1. You can see the change in quantity supplied is less than the change in price. Third is unit elastic supply. Elasticity equals 1. The change in quantity supplied is equals to the change in percentage change in price. You should copy down these graphs. Okay. Fourth case is elastic supply. The percentage change in quantity supplied is greater than the percentage change in price. Elasticity is greater than 1. You must draw these graphs whenever such a question arises in your exam. Last but not the least, we have perfectly elastic supply. The elasticity equals infinity. There is infinite change in quantity supplied in response to small change in price. Now to remember all these graphs, keep a note of this point. Elasticity, as the elasticity increases, the supply curve gets flatter, which shows quantity supplied responds more to the change in price. Now if you come across a question, the difference between short run and long run, ये बहुत ही बेसिक क्वेश्चन है इकोनॉमिक्स का, इसका आंसर आपको शॉर्ट में मैं यहाँ बता रही हूँ, आप इसे ब्रॉडली एक्सप्लेन करके एग्जाम में लिख सकते हैं। In short run, the supply curve is relatively inelastic. In long run, it is relatively elastic. Supply can be increased by employing more factors. Plant size can also be increased by other variable of production. Supply of a commodity can be increased only by employing variable factor. What are variable factor? ऐसे factors जो change हो सकते हैं, जो vary करते हैं, वो short run में आते हैं. In the long run, the plant size or the production capacity can also be increased by employing new method of new technologies. Thus, their plant size can also be increased with variable factors. Here we have some questions related to the course which we are dealing, the theory of supply and demand. मैंने हर एक लेसन से एक एक क्वेश्चन रखा है, आप इन क्वेश्चंस को सॉल्व करने की जरूर कोशिश करिएगा। अगर आपको किसी भी क्वेश्चन का आंसर नहीं समझ में आ रहा है तो नीचे कमेंट करके बताइए, आई विल प्रोवाइड यू विद द आंसर्स। Also, try and answer them in your own words. Okay, don't copy. Your answer should not be too lengthy, but that should be concept based with examples. I have always used example in all my explanation. If you like, then follow that. Thank you for watching the course. Do subscribe to my channel EcoTap. Keep supporting. Thank you.